Hey there! Today I'm going to talk about the first pen I picked up at the DC Fountain Pen Super Show. I should probably say DC Pen Super Show because it wasn't just fountain pens, although the vast majority of them actually were pens. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about this pen, which is a vintage pen. It didn't come in a box, and it's made by a brand that was new to me. I'd never heard of that. It's Wallstieh, or Wallstieh, or whatever you like to pronounce it. The title is displayed above the video, and it says Classic Fountain Pen, so I'm assuming that is the model, but you know, I'm not absolutely sure. In any case, the brand is Wallstieh Co., and it's from the USA. I bought this from Sarge Minas, whom you, I hope I pronounced his last name correctly, but everyone knows him as Sarge, the one-man pen show. It's amazing what he brought. And one of them was this pen, and I liked it. I just asked him, do you have anything with flex? And he came up with this, and it's cool. So, I'll do a writing sample, but first I'll go through the parts. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and that's pretty much it. So, first of all, I think the design is pretty cool. Now, you may think of Wahl Eversharp, you know, Wahl, the company, when you see this, because the design, even the name resembles it a little bit. So Sarge was under the impression that this was actually a bit of an imitation pen, and it makes sense. I mean, it is indeed the case that the pens of those brands kind of resemble each other. Okay, so let's go to the parts. Well, we have the cap, of course, and we have this clip. The clip is decent. I'm not going to put too much pressure on there. It is a vintage pen, so I don't want to damage it. It's interesting that both the cap and the barrel have a type of, they have some very nice ridges along the way, which I'm sure you can't see very well. If I put the pen too close to the camera, it won't focus, but you probably see that there's something going on there when I turn it around. So you have a bunch of ridges, and then you have just a flat bit, and then some more ridges, a flat bit again. I think that looks pretty nice. It's a very light pen. It really does not have a lot of weight. It's made of, I'm assuming, some type of plastic, and that's it. So the cap, we have the clip. There's nothing on top of the cap. It's just reflective. You can probably see some clouds reflected there. Then you have a nice gold band. I'm not sure whether it's real gold. I just don't know. And then we have the barrel. On the barrel is this weird thing. Now, I'm not going to operate that all the way, but this is a lever filler, aka lever filler. Depends a little on which part of the world you live in and how you pronounce that. So for those of you unfamiliar with that, this was my first lever pen. I just say lever pen, it's a bit easier. What happens is that inside the pen, be a little careful there. This is a pretty old pen type. Inside there's a rubber sac, and this actually holds the ink, and there is ink in there, so I really have to be careful. Now when you gently put the barrel back in place, you see this lever, which you can, this is as far as I'll go now. You can put your thumbnail behind that, and that will depress the sac. So when you pull that lever, the sac inside is depressed, and that will draw up ink. And you see that just this little bit of pressure I just exerted already put some ink on the nib, so I have to be careful there. Cloth, clamps, scalpel. Thank you, nurse. There we go. The nib. I like the nib. It is 14K. It says, I can't read it. The lettering is, oh, you know what? Let's use this loop, which I got on the show from Tim. Tim, you know who you are, thank you. It says, that's why I couldn't read it, doesn't make any sense. It says self-feed, so self-feed, but with just one F. Self-feed pen 14K 4. I'm assuming 4 is number 4 nib. I asked Sarge specifically for something with flex, and this has flex. It's not a wet noodle. You can write with this perfectly well, but if you put a bit of pressure on it, you'll get flex, which is nice. Okay, grip section, I just like the design of the pen. It's not that small, actually. I like that. That's good. Shape of the section is kind of nice. It's tapered a bit, then it gets a bit wider up there. You have the threads, but they're not sharp. They're not so sharp to be annoying when you hold it. Cap screws in place, and that's pretty much it. So I already told you about the sack. I have not gone through the trouble to take out the nib and the feed, but with a vintage pen, I don't want to damage anything, so I'm pretty careful in handling this. It was in very good condition, works very well. I'm betting you want to see some flex. One thing I can tell you about it is that it has a small hole in the back of the cap, which, if I'm not mistaken, is there. I'm sure someone can point this out to me. I think they did that to make sure it didn't actually, the cap didn't draw a vacuum, so that you ink, sort of gets spilled inside the cap. I thought that was the idea, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's another reason. Tell me. What do I like about it? Well, what is there not to like about the pen? It's vintage, it's a lever filler, it has a sack which is in perfect order. Sarge may have resacked it, I'm not sure, but in any case it works just fine. The sack is in good condition, draws up, holds a lot of ink, has a nice nib, has a nice bit of flex. I don't see what there's not to like. I like larger pens. Well, it's not a small pen. I also like heavier pens. This is not the heaviest pen you'll find around, but it's just cool. So I say we do a writing sample. And that's all there's to it. So I hope this was useful. A lesser known brand. You can have a lot of fun with those. They're a lot cheaper than if I would have bought a while in this condition. I would have paid a lot more. So, sometimes these unknown brands can be really surprising and can be really nice. So that's it. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so here we go. Let's not post that, in fact. Just grabbing this here. With the Wallstieh Classic. The ink is Waterman Florida Blue, now likely to be, what was it again? Mystery Blue or something. Doesn't really matter. Let's do some writing. I'm applying no pressure. I'm applying a lot of pressure. I told you in the review, it's not a wet noodle. And under no pressure, you can just use it. You add some pressure, and you get a flex pen. Question. Anyway, the lazy dog. So clearly this pen gives you some nice flex. You seeing that? My handwriting always gets very weird with when I do flex writing, when I really try to emphasize that, but I think this says enough, right? You see the amount of flex this pen offers. Although I kind of suck at flex writing, I do love it. It's just cool. Okay, so let's do some quick writing. See any skipping? I don't. I'm pretty sure that when I'm doing a lot of extreme flexing... Wow! I really expected railroading there because I was doing that pretty quickly and the feed just kept up. I'm seriously impressed. Okay, so that's all pretty cool. Maybe a bit of coloring. There we go with the ink. lays down a decent patch of ink. It doesn't seem to be extremely wet when non-flexing. See that? See that? That's the difference. Of course, that was to be expected. It's a bit on the dry side when not flexing, but actually I don't mind it so much. Especially not with this pen, since it gives you this nice flex. Okay, so there you have it. Wallstieh, not sure how you should pronounce that. In any case, lesser known brand, excellent pen. So sometimes you can be surprised. So I would say, thank you for watching. Thanks to Sarge for selling me a nice pen. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.